All right, welcome back to possibly the last part of training number 3 on Outlook calendars. At this point, I'm going to show you what it's like to proxy to another calendar, how you do it, if somebody hasn't explicitly sent you a calendar share request. So, what you do is you go to any of your calendar folders. Like I'll go down to shared calendars, and previously I had sent or pretended to send a meeting to Lori Merritt, and so I'm going to add a calendar from the address book, and I would pick Lori from that. Double clicking puts her name on the calendar line, and then I would click OK, and she would show up as another box. One of the advantages of having calendar groups is that by checking the parent node, all of the items below it get checked. So here under cars is a list of pool cars that can be checked out to me. So if I click all of them, then their schedules will be shown alongside mine, and I can pick an appropriate car to check out to go to another meeting. So again, I'm in schedule view because I picked so many calendars. Anyway, you get the idea. And then if I explicitly add a calendar to my list, it will use the permissions that apply to me from that person's calendar. Now, what if, this is completely impossible, but what if Lori had another calendar like GIS? Could I get to it just by adding from the address book? And the answer is no. By doing this, by finding her this way, I'm adding just her default calendar to my address book. If she wanted to share another one with me, she'd have to do that explicitly by right-clicking and sharing the calendar, which would send me an invitation, which I would then accept. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is how to create a reoccurring meeting. I'm going to click an appointment because I don't plan on inviting anybody. And we're going to call this, let's see, knife fight is a little gruesome. So what if we just did party? Okay. And I'm choosing Monday, February 2nd. And when I go to I click recurrence. That's how I bring up the reoccurring dialog. And it already assumes some things for me. It's going to assume that I want to do this every week on Monday, because I chose a Monday. If I choose monthly, it'll assume that I want it either on the second day of every month, or I want it on the first Monday of every month. Now, all of this is changeable. I'm just saying that it's pre-filled in based on what day and time you initially selected. So I'm going to change this to a Friday and show you how this reoccurrence can also be useful. And that is with A/B schedules. So on February 6th, it looks like B's have a day off, so I'll say B day off, reoccurrence. And, how often is this going to occur? Well, it's going to occur every 2 weeks on Friday. And how long do we want it to go for? GroupWise never had the option of no end date because it didn't want to create an infinity number of items. Outlook tricks out the server by just generating them as people view future dates. But let's say that I just want to schedule this for a year at a time. I'm going to go all the way till 12 of something of 2015. Drop down the calendar. I'll go all the way to the 1st. We know that's going to be a holiday in 2016, so I can just choose that. And then, unfortunately, and again, this is where a lot of GroupWise users will get caught up, I cannot see a preview of when that's going to occur. We know that there's going to be some Fridays in 2015 that are holidays. such as the July 4th weekend. July 4th falls on a Saturday, but we'll automatically get the Friday off, and the A days will have Thursday off. There's no way to like modify those individual appointments. So unfortunately, what you do is you send the meeting as it is and save it, and then you go into your calendar and manually make the changes for the exceptions. It's a lot more time consuming than the way GroupWise had it, where you could just pick and choose dates, and you would get a preview. I remember that of what it looked like. Let's go back into occurrence, and I'll show you some other options though, so we don't get caught up in what we don't have. So daily, another way that I could have done the B day off was, instead of saying every 2 weeks on Friday, I could go to daily and say that this is supposed to happen every 14 days. So that's one way. Weekly, these are check boxes, not radio buttons, so you could say that this is a repeating appointment on Wednesday and Friday, or Tuesday and Thursday. Perhaps you have meetings that fall into that range. For monthly, again, you could say on the 10th of every month, or on the 10th of every other month. If you have a quarterly meeting, then you'd want to say that it's every 3 months. And then this is also helpful if you want it on the first Friday of every 3 months. Again, the first Friday of every quarter, you could put that. And then yearly. This is helpful for holidays that we take off. But again, if the holiday falls on a Saturday, there's no way for you to move it in this dialogue to a Friday, or to move it from Sunday to Monday. So there's some limitations, yeah, but that's how reoccurrence works with Outlook. All right, close that, and then let's look at resources for a little bit. I did show you cars. Remember that if I have a couple cars checked and I've got their views merged, the tab that's active is the car, which would receive the appointment when I go to check it out. And then rooms are, although I wouldn't want to have a meeting in a car, rooms behave like cars in that they're resources. You can see who's got it for when, and in the scheduling assistant, if I go to new meetings, I've got this rooms button, and that'll pick up the resources that are marked as a room. So we've got public safety things, public works things, rooms here at the city center. And if you need more than one room, I guess you can double click and add them on. And then they'll show up under the scheduling assistant. Resources can also be programmed on the server to have a manager, so that if there's one or two people that overlook the scheduling of a room, or perhaps you want to leave it up to one or two people to accept new appointments for that room, that can be done with resource management delegation. This might be helpful, like at Public Works, if the if Jill and Debbie and Linda are going to approve meetings that are going to be held in those conference rooms, they could be made as a manager of that account and be able to accept it. Otherwise, without a manager, the rooms just automatically accept new appointments. That's usually what happens when I send out a meeting. I get an immediate response from the room saying that it's been accepted. All right, that concludes calendar basics for Desktop Outlook 2013. I will be doing another one on calendars for OWA, the Outlook web app. But I hope you have enjoyed this and that it's been useful. And call us with any questions here at IT. Thanks.